Spartan Nation, what's going on? Ken, the super cool Spartan, my brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. Q, the Woodshed, coming back at you, the Hoops edition here. Unfortunately, coming off a loss for both the men and women's team tonight. The women took an L at home, their second loss in a row at home to Maryland, 86-70. And the men took a surprising loss at Minnesota, 76-73, I think that game was. But yeah, that was a surprising. That one was pretty surprising there. I mean, Minnesota, they lost 7 games in a row.
Going back to back.
They're under 500, and they rushed which is expected. You know, they rushed the court after they beat us, and it was overall just a lackluster performance by the men's team. Just that was very unexpected. That was very unexpected. So let's just get right into it, broski. So well, we were talking about this, you know, before we started on the podcast here, that for some reason, historically, Izzo, around this time in February, starts going through those losing streaks. You know, 2-3 games in a row, or three out of 4, or something. So, this again was very unexpected. I thought that they would have came out with a lot of fire under that ass after they took that disappointing loss at home to Michigan. And just from jump, I mean, they just came out flat and just really didn't show any that good MSU grit until it was really needed down the stretch. I mean, they tried to make it out of a game with the last maybe like 2 minutes, but just wasn't enough. So, yep. 2-game losing streak. Yes. Next game is gonna be it's gonna be crucial because they play Illinois at Breslin on Saturday, 8:00 game, 8:00 p.m. game. Illinois, I think they're playing right now against Northwestern at home, and Illinois, I mean, they're right up there at the top of the Big Ten standings. They're right there with MSU, Nebraska, and Michigan. So, and as I pointed out to my college buddies during our group chat, yeah, but they got that freshman who put up 46 against Purdue. So I don't know how, you know, he's that prolific like every time, but yeah, Illinois is nothing to, you know, to play around with. So a little bit of a danger zone here for the Izzone. What are your thoughts, super mad Spartan?
Oh, it's just 3 games in a row where the Spartans come out and look like garbage in the first half. That just is what it is. They haven't been playing well in the first half.
Yes. No, they haven't. They have not.
You know, it's been the thing. Not playing well. Jimmy Fears doing stupid shit. Getting stupid technicals and flopping around like it's. I want to start there because I think that's a big reason why they lost this game tonight. The second half they climbed.
Yes, get mad, Spartan.
Going on the road.
Mad.
Jordan Scott is, hits 5 points. We're getting rolling. Drummer Scott, excuse me. And then Fears gets fouled and he flails his leg up, tries to kick my man's, in his area. And he gets a technical, rightfully so, because if it was the other way around, I'd be screaming about it. And we're now again, we're talking about this stuff instead of the basketball game. The Michigan game, I thought Dusty made, he's bravo to him. He's doing his Michigan coach thing, whining even after a victory.
Good and because
his
Kirk.
Whining now, the scrutiny's on Jeremy Fears, and he delivers the stupid stuff. And it's crazy because he hadn't really been doing that stuff all year. Like trying to draw fouls, okay, that's fine. He wasn't really getting into the kind of the dirtier stuff. But now everything he does is going to be looked at, and it should be because it doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do it at all. Drawing the fouls is
Mm-hmm.
fine. If a big man is running down the court, he ain't paying attention, and fears dribbles in front of us and falls down. Well, that's the big man's fault for not knowing what's going on. I feel like that's just part of the game. Now all the grabbing legs and
Mm-hmm.
flailing out and stuff. No, you got to stop that because it's hurt the team. Because that was a foul on somebody else in this game, in the Minnesota game, that turned it to a swing it back the other way, and it's uncalled for. And then you're really gonna get mad into it.
It
This
is.
team has
It
had a
is.
problem since the beginning. The two guard spot. You have, I know they got some stuff from Trey Fort's night. You know, Jordan Scott did this thing, but it's been a pain spot all year, and that's on Izzo. I understand Izzo doesn't recruit over his guys, and he just miraculously thought that hoped that Kurtang would be able to defend somebody. Obviously, quote Izzo himself can't defend my mother, so he can't play. And
Right.
Trey Fort's damn near uh getting walk on minutes. So again, Izzo he didn't want to bring in a big time scorer or never a big time scorer, just another scorer. You knew Jace was leaving, and this was a hole on the team. And now, by the grace of
Mm-hmm.
God, we've been getting by because we're getting big points from Kohler and Cooper. We got 0 points from Cooper tonight. Kohler was up and down. And I understand that the team will hit their stride again and be better. But this is going to be a problem all year. Fears is the number one, not a number one scoring point guard. That's not what he likes to do. That's not what he should be tasked to do. But he has to be everything for this team right now. And we don't have
Mm-hmm.
any other reliable person. And we see, and not even a reliable shooter. It's not like the Cassius Winston team where, all right, well, he might be the best point guard, but there are other shooters around. He can get the people the ball. Like every night, we do not know who's going to be consistent with scoring the basketball, and that's going to be the death knell
Right.
for this team. And I know I'm being fatalistic right now. I'm a Spartan fan, blah blah blah, whine, and I'm sure they'll get it together. The team just hasn't looked right since like December. They haven't been a well-oiled machine. At the beginning of the year, you could tell, like, all right, they got it together. You have your leaders, uh, Cooper, Kohler, Fears, and Carr. And in this game, they kind of shrunk out, disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah. Kohler's been kind of up and down lately. Carr has been up and down lately. Cooper, yeah, he's been also up and down lately. So right now,
Those are your
it's
leaders.
like, yeah, those are the leaders, and the team goes as Fears goes. So if Fears doesn't have a good game, pretty much no one else will. And that was evident tonight that Fears, he didn't really have a good game, and the rest of the team didn't. So, and yeah, like I said, coming into that kind of that danger zone now because you lost 2 in a row. You're back home on Saturday against Illinois, and Illinois, they're a highly ranked team. They're in the mix, for a Big Ten title, and there
They left some revenge from
is
last
a few
season.
more games left between now and the so. Oh yeah, yeah, because we swept them last year and the season series with them, so you're definitely gonna have a lot of coming in with a lot of fire from last year. So and MSU and
Yeah,
Illinois,
if the behind is
and
hurt,
basketball, they this been over. Yeah, they have to play pretty
go
flawless.
ahead.
They have to play pretty flawless to pull out a victory on Saturday. But tonight, like I said, very disappointing. And I'm sure it's not going to be a pleasant flight home or a bus ride or however they got to Minnesota. That's not going to be a pleasant ride. And I'm sure the next time they get to practice, that won't be pleasant either. So we'll see what happens moving forward, for the next game. And for the women's team, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see that game because it was on the same time as the men, but I saw they kind of got mollywopped too, 86-70. I mentioned it before. So I don't know if it's for both teams, is that hangover from taking tough L's against Michigan, because watching the women's game this past weekend against Michigan, I got to say the women's team, I mean, even though they lost, I mean, it was a tough loss, but, they played a lot better against Michigan than the men's team did. I mean, the women lost in overtime by 3 points, but just watching that game, it was pretty much back and forth the entire time. And I was really impressed with the women's team. They played some very good defense. I even wrote down the names of some of the starters who really shine in that game. Broski, I don't know if you watched the game, but, Roshunda Jones, who they talk about is like up for like defensive player of the year. Jaylen Brown, the transfer from Louisville. Kennedy Blair, who's their point guard, just watching their play. Yeah, she got some skills. She got some skills. And, we talked about Grace Van Sluten, who was their primary
Van Sluten,
scorer
yes.
when we did our last podcast. But, yeah, I mean, they really could have won that game. I mean, they really could have, but just down the stretch, Michigan just made more plays. But that was a very tight game. And like I said, they played a lot better against Michigan than the men's team did. So even though it was a tough loss, I mean, shout out to the women's team. And again, they had a tough loss tonight. But yeah, they got it, man. They got shooting. They have a good inside outside game. They made all their free throws.
Well, the Wizards
Yeah,
again making
they
the free
made all
throws.
their free throws. So yeah, I'd say that when the women's team plays against Michigan again in Ann Arbor, because they said during the broadcast that MSU won at Chrysler last year for well, actually both men and women did, but yeah, they got a squad. Yeah, the women's team got a squad. I mean, because they took a tough loss tonight, but yeah, women's hoops they good, really good.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We
as
have a
for the
good athletics.
men,
You can say these
well,
are teams are pretty steady.
yeah, but for the men, like we just said it. The first half was not good. They came out smoking in the second half for sure, but this down the stretch just couldn't get it done.
No, and then
So,
this didn't end all be on the game, but the Big Ten refs just they're so
oh, the Big Ten refs are
inconsistent,
terrible. Yeah, they're terrible.
and it's so annoying every game. And it wasn't the reason why he lost to Michigan, but there were just so many just like what call is that? Like, what are we calling it on both? Like it's just weird stuff, and it's not in Minnesota. After Fears does his thing, Michigan State couldn't get a call. Fears gets knocked down. Up, well, it's no contact. Cold car goes up and one. Nope, he grazed the guy in a little bit, so offensive foul. Like it's just there's enough money in college basketball and college football to have full time referees. It's talking about $1 billion industry. Let's throw some money to the side and get some full time people in here because it's embarrassing. Especially it's been especially bad in the Big Ten my entire life. Just you never know what you're going to get for. I used to say every 10 minutes, so it was call it 4 quarters. You never know. They call the game. They call all the fouls at one junction, and then all of a sudden it's just nothing's a foul. And then the game's getting out of hand. Let's
Mm-hmm.
have two quick whistles and everything else, and then let's not call anything else. And it's embarrassing. And that's the Jeremy
I
Fears
agree
stuff
with you.
aside, but
Yeah.
it's just the refs. It just they swing games,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's just it gets so frustrating me. Even in victories, you don't think about it much, but it's like, just 5, 6, 7 call like it's 8 calls a game. We're not talking about like in NBA. All right, there's 2, 3 bad calls for an entire game. We're like 7 bad calls per half. Like it's stuff that's not even. Are we going to be consistent with what a foul is? And it's so
No.
annoying. But back to things you can control. Jeremy Fears needs to control himself. Obviously, they need to get some more production out of their bigs. Cooper and Cola have to be better. Cooper not having any
Mm-hmm.
points. That's like nothing. Like okay, and it seemed like when we actually got paint touches, offense looked a little bit better. But they were inconsistent with it. So the defense was
Mm-hmm.
obviously not good enough tonight. Let Minnesota get hot from three, hit 7 3-pointers in the first half. Like, all right, come on, guys. The state had been trending this way since Rutgers. They played the
Yeah,
exact
and that
same way
seems to
versus
be kind
Rutgers
of a consistent
last
team
week.
through. Yeah. 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 I was gonna say that that's been a consistent theme these past few games that for some reason our opponents have been pretty consistent from behind the three and we have not. And maybe that's to your point about us having, our shooting isn't as much as we had it before um, last year or, whenever.
Shooting was a problem
But
last year.
yeah, it was. But it seems like this year
Like
it's more it's more of an issue compared to last year.
it's more of an issue
So,
because you don't have a Jace Richardson to give the ball to and go get a bucket. There's no one like that on the team. Well,
mhm,
and Fears is not exactly like that. He's not a break down the defense, go get a bucket point guard. And so again, it comes back to Izzo and this roster construction.
mhm,
Obviously, you're not when you recruited Richardson, you weren't thinking, oh, he's going to be a first round NBA draft pick. It's great that he turned into that. But at the same time, when that happens, you knew Kurtang wasn't ready, and we knew Trey Fort wasn't going to be the answer because his pedigree was like, well, he's a scorer, he's not really a defender. Well, what defender? What person can play on the time of those team and not
mhm.
defend? It doesn't happen. You're not playing.
Oh, no,
And
no.
so we got a couple of guys in the
Right. You have
portal,
to defend first
and
before you do
all
anything.
right, Powell gets hurt, but he wasn't. He was a, a wing. He wasn't supposed to be like a scorer. He wasn't a two guard. He's like your.
Mhm.
It's kind of what your Jeremy. Would you? I keep saying Jeremy Scott. Jordan Scott is right now. He's like that type of guy,
Jordan Scott.
athlete. I keep getting his name wrong. I know what's wrong with me tonight. And Jordan Scott's one of my favorite players on this team, and I've been saying it for weeks that he's the guy to keep your eye out for. He's going to be that sneak guy who's going to end up leading the team one day because he does limit
Mhm,
everything well. Um, but yeah, and so you come back to this, you never really replaced Jace Richardson,
mhm,
and I understand you don't want to blow up team chemistry, but at the same time, you know things are never going to align perfectly right with the recruiting classes. It just hasn't happened for Michigan State in over 20 years. That's why we haven't won a championship. So you have the transfer portal. I think State needs to lean into it just a little bit more. Like I can understand, not wanting to over recruit your guys, and that's fine. I appreciate it. But at the same time, Tom, you needed two guard. You needed one. Like
mhm.
should have got somebody that scored. That was my biggest fear. Everybody's fear. When this team came out was constructed. You watch it the first time. I was like, okay, well, I don't know how this team's going to score. That's the first thought. You look at the paper, and it's worked out. Guys have stepped up here and there. Kohler and Cooper have definitely gotten better, but there's no outside consistent score. What would Jimmy Fears' numbers
Right.
look like with another scorer on this team?
They look good.
He might be leading the country in assists. And then
Yeah.
it's been alluded to. All right, just talk about it now. If we don't know the stats of Devine's injury, he got hurt and then it came back into this game. So if he's hurt for an extended period of time, you might as well just chuck this team up for a loss because Jimmy Fears is going to be exhausted because you're going to have to play
Mm-hmm.
Wojcik, and more than 5 minutes of him in the game is going to spell doom unless we're beating the team by 40.
Right. Right. I thought
So
about
there's
that too.
some there's some question marks for this team yet again, and they're going to have to, you know, answer those questions. Either they rally and beat Illinois at home, or they continue to slide. People have been praying for Michigan State's
Mm-hmm.
downfall, and hey, you might be on that cusp.
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing with fire for sure. They are playing with fire. So oh boy. I know it's Izzo we trust. He's definitely earned the right, but yeah, that two guard spot definitely
And
doing the Texas two
two guys
step
fight, and then all right.
with that spot.
So even if we go back, okay, let's just fast forward to next year. We have some people coming in. We're gonna rely on the freshman from two guard position. Like, okay, how's that supposed to work? Uh, are we sure we better pray Curtain gets better? I'm not saying he's terrible, but he doesn't defend well enough to be a starting two guard. He gets lost and he gets beat off the dribble a lot. You know, he could put the ball in the bucket
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but inconsistent like most other players. And so yeah, next year we're gonna have to see. It's gonna be very interesting. Because all right, next
Mm-hmm.
season, they have to go get a center in the portal too next season because you have Cooper and Kohler both gone. That leaves you with Jesse McCullough as your center, but he's more so a power forward in my mind. Then you have Cam Ward.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
I'm sure. Okay, that's two people. You need at least three or four. So you're going to have to bring in. I know, yes, they have the freshman coming in, 5-star guy, but he's a freshman big. Not too many freshman bigs have done well under Izzo.
Right.
I'm not projecting he's going to be bad. I'm saying he's
Right.
not going to start off being end all be all. Even when they had, I was in Dante Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
took a little. He wasn't bad or anything, but it took him a second to kind of get acclimated by the end of the year, and then we took that L in Middle Tennessee State. But neither here nor there. But still, they're going to need somebody else. Is those are going to bring someone in? We shall see because the team has holes that need to be
Right.
filled, and that's just the name of the game nowadays. You have the team down the road. They brought in a whole new squad, and they're looking like national championship caliber. Is Michigan State national championship caliber team? Let's be honest, they don't look like it. They're not
No.
playing like it. They don't
And
have
on
the
the here and now,
profile.
no. No, on the here and
Like
now,
even if you
no.
go, you could be a nerd and go to the Kim Palm numbers. Usually, a team has to be top 5, top 10 in offensive defense efficiency to be a national championship contender. Defense for sure, stays there. Offense, not in like in the 50s, and it continues to look funky.
Right. Right.
So it is what we trust, but there's questions, and we shall see.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about that too. After looking at these last three games here, you know, because basically one of the games you just came back in a nail biter situation and won in overtime with Fierce putting on his Superman cape and Fierce for to do the same again against Michigan because I think he scored like 31 points. But
Oh
since they
yeah,
played such a terrible first half, I mean, he didn't have the help as far as putting the basket into putting the ball into the basket. This game, just no one could put the ball in the basket. So moving on, because even when you get to the tournament, and I understand, the tournament, nobody's safe in the tournament. I mean, it doesn't matter what seed you are, nobody's safe. One game format, you just have it just takes for you to have one bad game, you can be out. Doesn't matter, what your record is. It doesn't matter what conference you're from. Doesn't matter who you play. If you're, if you are not hot that that one game, that format, you out of there. But if you're trying to at least get to the Final Four, yeah, you definitely gonna need great guard play and shooting. So that's what the concern is about Michigan State moving forward. The shooting and Fears definitely, he has it, but are we going to depend on Fears to get
stop
through
doing
to the
stupid
Final
shit.
Four? Playing 25, 30 points a game. Yeah, and cutting the stupid shit out
I
remains to be seen.
have a question for you, broski.
Uh-oh.
Last possession of the game, tie ball game, or state down by one. Who do you want taking the shot for Michigan State?
Whew, boy, that's a loaded question. Hmm.
I mean, because there's only one answer to Obers. We'd hope would be
It
doing
had
his
to be
fears, but at the same
Fears.
time, like,
It had to
but
be Fears.
Fears really can't create his own shot. That's the only like he's not, and I'm not trying to bag on Fears because he did. Be clear, Fears is a really good point guard. Like if you need somebody to run your team and run your offense and make the right plays in the right time, Fears will do it. But my only criticism is that he's not a elite scorer of the basketball. Like he can score
Mm-hmm.
in certain conditions, but he's not someone who's going to, you know what, I need you to go out there and get a tough bucket right now. He's not the Tyson Walker,
Right.
Jace Richardson, Cassius Winston. No, he's not. That's not his game. And I'm not trying to crap on him. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying that that's the kind of thing we have to think about in the tournament. All right, it's going to be some tight games. Who's going to be that person to take that shot? Like, who do you have like confidence in? And you start
Mm-hmm.
looking around the
Yeah, that's a
roster,
great
looking down the
question.
names. Like, yeah, they people have been good. People have been good, but then look like, man, life on the line, money on the table. I gotta have it. Yikes.
Yeah.
It obviously is going to have to
No,
be Fears, and it's like
that that's a
we're going
great
to have to depend
question.
on Fears for that. But it's like,
Right.
oof.
And knowing Fears just from watching his style of play, he would try to get to the basket more than try to take a jump shot. He would probably try to get to the
Oh, for sure.
basket, get fouled, and win at the free throw line. So your question is valid. And I really don't have an answer for you. I mean, outside
And
of Fears,
again, it's not this.
maybe Kohler, maybe.
Maybe,
I mean,
but again,
I
because
I can't think of
everybody
anybody
on this
else.
team has to. There, there's certain conditions for them to know they're going to score, right?
Right.
Like it was the alley oop. All right, we know it's we can we can depend on Carr and Cooper to put the ball in the hoop for alley oop. Jump shot, um, unclear. Get into the paint, get into the bucket. Fierce can do that. He can, you know, the thing that makes it difficult for that situation that I'm drawing up is that you would have the team, they would just pack the paint and say, well, it's not going to be Fears. So he's not going to beat three
Mm-hmm.
guys off the dribble and get to the cup and make a tough shot. It's just not part of his game. So it becomes
Right.
a situation, all right, who's Fears going to pass to that you feel like, oh, well, he's going to make this shot? Like, who's your clutch shooter? Who's your person? It's a, it's a, it's
Like
a
I
thought.
said, if out of that scenario, yeah, I probably have to say Kohler, because really outside of Kohler, I mean, you can just roll the dice. I mean, Kurt Tang, he hits threes. Sometimes he doesn't. Trey Fort,
Even with
I
Kohler,
mean, he made a couple of good threes, down the stretch against Minnesota, but that game was already out of hand. So Jordan Scott, I
with Kohler,
don't know.
he hasn't been he's, he's hasn't been hitting through like he was earlier. And he was shooting like damn near 50% at one point from three. It's like,
no,
well,
he
that's gonna have to
hasn't.
come down. And it's come down. And Kohler's good. Like I'm not trying to bag on the team because know, Kohler's gonna carve out some spot in the paint and get some rebounds and play tough defense. And they're all gonna do that. So we're just this specific scenario. I don't even think you can say Jordan Scott yet, because all right, this is relatively new with Jordan Scott. You can see his confidence growing. Every game
Yeah.
he um he does a move, with the ball. Like, okay, that's a confident move he just made. Like when they when he went in his little 5 point run in the second half, the first bucket I remember seeing is all right. He gets the ball on the wing. The guy in front of him smaller, so he dribbles, gets to his spot at the free throw line, pulls up, hits the jumper. Like, okay, that's a confident move. I haven't seen that from you a whole lot, but
Mm-hmm.
you not that confident of it. I've seen him kind of come off the screen. Okay, I like that. And so maybe Jordan Scott could be the person. I don't know. It's just the hypothetical. Throw it out there.
No, it's a good
Since we're
question.
doomsdaying it up right now.
Yep.
Typical
Dooming
Spartan
and glooming,
fans,
baby.
doomsdaying it up.
Yep.
Yep.
Dooming and glooming. I'm sure all the posts on Instagram are on fire and all the message boards on
Oh,
fire.
I've
We
seen some
lost to
egregious takes
fucking
in the message board.
Minnesota. Like, oh.
Yeah, it happens. Last year we lost to USC and UCLA.
Yep.
It's just,
They weren't as bad as Minnesota though, but yeah.
you know, uh, but to bring it back to a little bit of sunshine, usually after these couple, 2, 3 game skids, Izzo has a team right and they do something. You know, we
That's
shall see.
true
I'd
too.
rather the team look bad in victories instead of just taking losses. Because that Michigan game, that first half was if they don't play that bad in the first half,
Oh,
I'm confident they beat Michigan.
oh yeah.
Because as bad
Oh
as
yeah.
State was
If
playing in the first half,
yeah, for
Michigan
sure.
wasn't like playing so great. We were just playing just completely garbage.
Yeah.
And then finally we turned the
It
juice on
wasn't
the
like
second
they're
half.
looking like juggernauts.
No, we just played terrible. They played soft and scared in that first half versus Michigan, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
They looked shook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you guys are at home. Why are you looking so shell shocked? Like what? Maybe they said they were feeling themselves a little too much. Got to get brought back down to earth a little bit. Run the sets, run
Mm-hmm.
the plays.
Humbled.
And then the Big Ten is always a grind. But this team definitely has some holes, and
Yeah. So
it's
yeah, it's not the end of the day. I mean, there's still quite a few games left to right the ship per se. And I do think because this happens every year, as you watch Big Ten basketball throughout the years, it's especially in February, it's always a grind pretty much for everybody. There's no one team that kind of runs away with it per se. Now, MSU last year, I mean, they did win the conference outright but they still went through their little slump, but they're still able to get it
sure.
back together, and they won the conference outright. So I do expect that Michigan, they'll have some more losses for sure, and Nebraska, I think they're going through their losing streak right now. I think they lost like 2 games in a row. Purdue, they lost two,
Yeah,
three
two in a
games
row.
in a row too. So
I think
it's gonna
three.
happen. It's just a matter of when. Yeah, it's gonna happen. So it's just a matter of when. So I do expect these teams at the top of the conference to lose more games. Now it won't be like a ridiculous amount of losses, but they'll still lose, their couple games here and there. So I don't think one team is gonna run away with it like last year, like we did. But MSU, they'll be right there. They'll be in the thick of it, you know, come the end of the season. So, as bad as this loss was and the other took at Michigan, we expect the Izone to be in the mix down the stretch. Now, I don't know if they're going to win the conference. Probably not, but they'll be right there.
No, I don't. I don't think they can. They Michigan State. Well, I haven't. They haven't played the other teams, but one thing I noticed was Michigan. They didn't stack up very well with Michigan. 'Cause Michigan this year they can bring a lot of different guys off the bench and they can play a lot of different ways. In State, because we don't have a real backup point guard, when Fears gets tired, that's probably the game for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine
So
going
yeah,
forward,
I'm
teams
I'm
are going
not.
to try to bait Jimmy Fears into doing stupid shit, and he's capable of it. And so
Yeah.
once the word is out, like, all right, well, let's get this guy at the game. He ain't got a temperament for it. Just kind of jostle with him, lead him a little bit, get him to do some stupid stuff, get some fouls, maybe get him out the game, maybe get him a technical. It's just that's what's going to be the rest of the season.
It's gonna be like what's his name? Dylan Brooks, Dylan the villain. I poke bears. Oh boy.
Anyway,
Hey, quick side note here, broski. Man, what are your thoughts on these NBA trades that's been going down? I mean, this just been talk about Wild Wild West ish. I mean, like there's been like all kinds of like unexpected deals going on. So we're talking about hoops.
is anything going to result in the team going to result in a championship? Most of these deals are being between fodder and fodder. The Bulls and like it sucks. Bulls suck.
between
The Bulls, the
between Horse
Wizards.
Dookie and Cow Dookie.
Get out of here. Even the Pistons, their move was kind of
Uh
like, okay, like I guess because you know what, Jaden Ivey to walk for nothing. For the same time, like you brought in two guys shooting like 31% from three, like that's not great.
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't. There are some trades that were made. I don't know if anything is going to be like the result in. you know,
winning a championship,
paradigm shifting. Like no, like the
like
Clippers
Harden to
moved
the Cavs.
Harden to Cavs. Like cool, okay. The Cavs are sure fire Eastern Conference finalists now. No. No, man, I'm in the sour mood, just hating on everybody. But nah, man,
Of course,
those
the
are my
big
thoughts
move
on the NBA
everyone's waiting
trade.
for is Giannis. Giannis, what's gonna happen to Giannis?
Yeah, I've heard it was it
I don't think anything's gonna
Warriors or
happen
like
with
two other
him. I don't think
teams?
nothing's gonna happen with the Giannis. Yeah, yeah, they're talking about the Warriors, the who is it? The Warriors, the Timberwolves, and the Heat.
I don't feel like none of those teams got
But
anything to trade that's worth trading for to get you. I mean, just
right.
first round draft picks and uh, I was gonna say $5 foot long, but that doesn't exist anymore. But
Yeah, yeah. They're talking about and then we'll really back into college hoops, but they were talking about if the Bucks pull off the trade with the Warriors are told Draymond Green that he'll be a part of the trade. They let him know up front, like, hey, thank you for your service, bro, but this is Giannis.
and I I suspect Draymond and Curry don't have many years left in the NBA. So
No, at least not together. But
I don't
I
think they
don't know.
have much else to prove.
I
But yeah,
think
but
no, they don't. They don't. And I think Giannis will get traded to the summer. That's my thoughts. I don't think he's getting traded by tomorrow. Could be wrong, but yeah, I think they're gonna wait to trade him in the summer,
he should never suit
and
up
he
for
going
the
to the
Bucks
Lakers.
again, though.
All right,
I don't know how the Lakers pulled that one off,
guys.
but the NBA is full of weird trades. So
Yeah, well,
don't
shit.
worry, if some bottom feel like
Did anyone
you'd be
think
like the
Luca?
Kings,
Did anyone think
Hornets,
Luca would be
50 like
traded?
15 team trades. That's what I'm saying. NBA is
Right.
weird.
No one said no one thought someone would trade Luca. That happened a year ago, bro. Like I was like
I know
everybody else, like this got
NBA
to
is
be a
full of
damn prank.
wacky trades. Yep,
Yes.
and now all of them guys got broomed out. And so basically they traded Luca to Lakers for eventually Trey Young. Like, ugh, yikes. Yeesh. Mm.
Oh man, man. All right, bro. Let me get you out of here on the MSU fun hoop fact here. So, as usual, did a little research, and you were on a good. You're on a roll. I think you got last week's fun football fact. I'm sorry, hoop fact. We're not in football right now. It's basketball. This is basketball. So let's see and get this one. All right. So who is the all-time rebound leader at Michigan State? Is it Greg Kelser, Johnny Green, or Draymond Green? The all-time leading rebounder at Michigan State.
I'm gonna go Draymond. I just feel like it's Draymond. I don't know. I'm gonna go Draymond.
Oh
I feel
man.
like he was there for
You're
4
right. It
years.
is Draymond Green.
I was gonna
It is
say like
Draymond
I said like
Green.
can't be Kessler. Like Kessler, I don't think stayed all 4 years, and Johnny Green, I don't know who that is. And it's like Draymond was
Yeah, I
there for a
never
long
yeah.
time, and he was Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Draymond started off.
Draymond.
Yeah. Go me. 2 weeks in a
Yeah,
row.
he has he has 1,096 rebounds. He edged out the number
Who's the
two
next
guy on the
closest
list was a
person?
Greg Kelser because Greg Kelser had 1,092. Greg Kelser had 1,092 rebounds.
Oh, it's barely.
And then third
For
place
some
is
reason, I
this,
think Greg Costa was
yeah,
there for all 4 years.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if he was, but yeah, he's Draymond edged him up by 4 rebounds. And then this guy, Johnny Green, has 1,036. He's third on the list. So this was surprising. I actually didn't know Draymond led MSU in rebounds like he was the all-time leader.
I
So
pure guess, but hey, go me.
yes, you're on the roll, broski. You're on the roll. Shout out to Draymond Green. He's actually one of the greatest Spartans to play under Izzo or for the green and white in general. When you look at it,
Oh
I
man,
mean,
since we start getting these questions right, we've been playing bad basketball, so I was like getting them wrong. Maybe we start winning.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see what happens. They're gonna shoot up again on Saturday, so let's get the train back on the tracks, fellas. Let's get back to the winning column. Winning
Hopefully,
column. So right.
fellas and ladies, lady
So before we get
Spartans,
out of here, I'm just gonna say,
women's
make sure you
Spartans.
guys check out. Yes, and the lady Spartans too. You young ladies, make sure you guys get back on the winning track too. Cue the woodshed. We support, the women's sports here. So we definitely want to see you guys get back on track as well. So having said that, make sure you guys check out our social media. We've been posting some good Black history facts about MSU sports, specifically with football. So check out our Black history posts here, learn something about MSU Black history. And as always, I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan, my brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. Check us out. Instagram, FaceTime, I'm about to say FaceTime, Instagram, Facebook. We're on X, we're on everything, TikTok, Amazon Music, Spotify. We're everywhere. We are everywhere. So go green.
Go white.